Blessings, blessings, and salutations. Blessings. Come on in and welcome to Her Story.
I
Her
can't
Story
hear you,
in
Doc.
History in
I can't
2023.
hear you.
All right. Give me one moment. I do have a special guest that is coming in
She's
today.
bringing me in right now.
At this point in time, I am going to bring in Mrs. Bunton, Goddess Bunton. Give me one moment. Bring her in. Salutations, blessings, blessings to you, Queen. Welcome, welcome
Salutations.
to Her Story in History. Thank you for coming on aboard and being able to speak with me about your story and how you have been able to persevere through your spiritual journey. This is about our soul full of sweetness of her story. It was designed to assist the divine feminine on her spiritual journey, allowing her to express herself through the goddess self that she is to be personified. So I do want to thank you again for coming in and sharing us your story.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
First of all, I do want to say that her and I have been friends on Facebook for a little bit. We've gotten a chance to a little kind of get familiar as to if what her and I have kind of shared each other's story. Excuse me, here, let me put her back on here. I don't know what that happened. The hecky. Oh, shucks. That came out of there. Shouldn't have been touching it. And I did say I wasn't going to touch it, didn't I? I'm going to back away from that because my hands are really, really hot. They're warm.
Mm,
And every time I
that
touch it, it
energy.
seems like really, really, real. Yeah. Um, I want to run the show pretty laxed because it allows us to be able through a higher energy to be able to share and bring in that unconditional love and infinite energy. First, what is it? Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions as to of what it is that you do for a career field?
No, not at all. I do home health care and also holistic healing is kind of my side hustle. So I make personalized natural prescriptions.
Oh, Shay.
And
Hey.
also, some mm, energy work. Some folks might consider to be unconditional, but I practice the old way.
Mm-hmm.
So
as most
that's
of
what I
us
do.
actually do when from the elders being teaching us. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that is what I do, and that is what I love. It's my passion. If it keeps calling you, uh, excuse me.
All right. Looks like she had to kind of step out a second there, but that's okay. We'll wait. During this particular transmission, like I stated before, obviously this is what this is. We wanted to talk a little bit about her story, and I'll share some of mine with my story at that time. So, what I'll do is express in terms of how I came about to this particular channel. I used to run a couple of different channels as well, but before it was Dr. Q's Black Door, which was about intimate connections between different relations of different people. So here we go. Let me grab her. All right.
I apologize.
No
Got kicked
worries.
out.
No worries.
Yeah.
Salutations. I'll bring you back in here. One moment.
Okay.
Okay.
We back.
We back?
We are back.
All right.
So, from the last statement, I just explained to them about the Dr. Q's Black Door as well,
Mhm.
with the intimate connections.
Yes.
But the reasonings of why I was getting ready to state about the reasonings of why we started this channel with the Divine Feminine, for the Divine Feminine goddess to be able to speak her story, because we've been
Yes.
hearing about the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine for a long time now,
Mhm.
and we've got these karmic things that's been coming in. There are some that don't know that they're karmic. Some people don't know that they're stuck in a
Mm.
loop. Some people don't even realize that they're not even the divine anymore, that they have fallen, that they are just masculine and feminine, or they have turned into vice versa. But either
Agreed.
way, we've had to be able to step up in certain areas where we're having to help heal those who are along on their spiritual journey. Um,
Mhm.
Me myself, I it's been a while, at least a good 7, 8 years, where I could say that, hey, I've came fully into waking up to my
Mhm.
fullness of my DNA. Okay,
Right.
so that
Right.
my DNA template, so that I can be able to read it and be able to, tap into their Akashic records, be able to
Yes.
know what's what. Okay, when you wake up to the fullness, to their own and your own divine blueprint, you should already be in your north node. If you're not in your north node at that point, then yes, you still have a lot more work to do. If in fact, if that's the tail end that you want to be, hey, there are some people who just want to be on that side, and it's
Yes.
okay. And it's okay.
Yeah. It is
um
okay. We're all at different points in our development. So just
yeah.
because someone is not where you are doesn't mean they're not where they're meant to be. And I
Right.
had to learn that, you know.
Right. Right. um it really is at some point now where, if they haven't woken up in a certain
Hmm.
time, this is what this is for too. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So that we could be able
Yeah.
to catch them. I'm not saying catch them while they're young, but it's catch them.
Well, yeah.
You got to catch and
Cafeteria.
release.
Yeah.
It's not, you got to catch and release. I'm not here to grow you up.
Hmm.
I'm here to give you the pieces that you need so that you can be
Yes.
able to, go and do your thing.
Right.
Um, but with that being said, with her story, I sure am glad that you are joining me today. Thank
Thank
you,
you for
Goddess.
having me.
And but is there? And so are you married currently?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And how many children? I know you spoke of your daughter,
Yeah.
and how many children do you have?
I have
I have
5
five
children and
children and
14
14
grandchildren.
Hey,
grandchildren.
hey, hey.
Look, I
Look,
gave
I
up the
gave up the
office,
office,
okay?
okay?
Okay, wonderful.
I
And
love
we
it.
know that going through life's levels and changes, doing
Yeah.
different things. I know that with I only have one child, but my
Uh-huh.
mother has four, so it was more or
Okay.
less like
You had
I
a full
kind of, you
household.
know what I mean. We had a full household, but
Right.
I still wanted to have other siblings. You know what I mean? But
Yes, yes.
as far as your children, what ages would you say that you have, and would you say that are most of the children at a level of like do you can you gauge them and be like, yeah, that one's a little spiritual child, that one I'm gonna have to watch out
Definitely.
for.
Definitely. My
Definitely, my
oldest will
oldest
be
will be
38
38
this
this
year.
year.
And look,
And
I
look,
have
I
to
have to
almost get a
almost get a
calculator.
calculator.
Then I
Then
have
I have
one
one
that's
that's
gonna turn
turned
34 in a
34 in a
couple
couple
weeks.
weeks.
Then I have
Then
a
I have a
30-year
30-year
old.
old.
I
I
have, let's
have,
see,
let's
one, two,
see,
three.
one, two, three.
I have
I
a
have a
25-year
25 year
old
old
and a
and a
22-year
22
old.
year
I have
old. I have
4
four
girls
girls
and 1
and
boy.
one boy.
Hey.
And
And
I
I
made sure
made
as I
sure
was
as I was
learning, because I've
learning, 'cause I've
probably been
probably
on the
been on the
path
path
about 30
about 30
years.
years.
Uh-huh.
And
And
so I
so
made
I
sure
made
I
sure I
poured into them,
poured
not
into
like
them,
shove
not
it
like
down their
shove it down
throat,
their throat,
but
Mm-hmm.
they
but they
each have
each
their
have their
own
own
spiritual
spiritual
path as
path as
far
far
as
as
it's
it's
beautiful to
beautiful to
watch,
watch.
One,
One,
she's,
she's
an
an
herbalist.
herbalist.
She,
She
I
I
mean,
mean
makes
makes
so much
much
natural
natural
medicine, you know
medicine.
what I
You know what I
mean?
mean?
And she has
She
the
has the
most
most
children. She
children.
has
She
five
has five
children.
children.
And
And
then I
then
have
I have
one that
one
does
that
more
does more
energy work.
energy
She
work. She
has
has
two.
two.
My
My
younger
younger
two,
two,
they're
they're
learning. You
learning.
know what
You
I
know what
mean?
I
It's
mean? It's
Uh-huh.
kind of,
kind of
no, the
no. The
younger
younger
ones are
ones
like,
are
let
like,
me
let
see if
me
it
see if
works
it works
first, you
first.
know. And my
And my
son in the
son in
middle,
the
he's
middle,
like,
he's
Mama,
like,
whatever
Mama,
you
whatever
say,
you
I
say,
trust
I
it because
trust
I've
it
seen
because
it
I've
work.
seen it work.
Aww.
Hmm.
Well,
And
that's the
it's,
good
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
And
like,
it's like,
I
I
mean, I
mean,
wish
I
I would
wish I
have
would have
learned what I
learned
know
what I
now
know
when I
now
was
when I was
younger.
younger.
So I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to
So I'm
give them
trying to
that
give them
little
that little
kickstart because I'm
kickstart
like,
because I'm
this is
like, this is
real.
real.
Our old
Our
ways
old
are
ways are
real.
real. Like,
Like straight
like
from
straight
the
from the
motherland
motherland
real.
real.
Yes, ma'am.
And
And
when you're
when you're
dealing
dealing
with
with
ancestors,
ancestors,
deities, you know
deities,
what I
you know what I
mean,
mean?
Yes, ma'am.
spirits,
Spirits,
it's
it's
real.
real.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
And the
circle of
circle
life
of
is
life
real.
is
It
real. It
doesn't
doesn't
end when you
end when you
transition from
transition
this
from this
body. And
body. And
I have
I have
one that
one
is
that is
actually
actually
spirits
spirits
visit her
visit her
often. It
often.
really
It
gets
really
on her
gets on her
nerves, you
nerves,
know.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
She's like,
She's like,
could
could
everybody get out of
everybody
my
get out of my
room?
room?
You
You
know,
know,
but I'm
but
like,
I'm like,
hey,
hey,
it's just
it's
like
just like
you're in the
you're
next
in the
room.
next
You know
room.
what I
You
Yeah.
know
mean?
what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they're
And so
not
they're not
afraid
afraid
of
of
they're not
they're not
afraid of
afraid of
things.
things.
And
And
so I
so
just
I just
try to
try to
impart what
impart
I
what I
know and
know
what I
and what I
still
still
continue to
continue to
learn
learn.
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
And
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 practice to
practice
them,
to
and
them, and
they're very
they're very
receptive,
receptive,
and I love
and I
that.
love that.
Well, when I touch my little girl, she doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
it.
She says
She
too
says too
much,
much,
too
too
intense.
intense.
Yeah, and like the very first time when I first was able to recognize the chi in my hands, I was
Yes.
trying to pray for her, you know,
Mm.
in the sense of like her. Well, during the accident, it was an accident we had, and
Mm.
her shoulder had been bothering her. So during
Okay.
that particular time, like a lot of things, I had a lot of body work during that time because we had
Mm.
gotten into a car accident, and but I was already experiencing some things way before that. It was just that triggered it to say, "Hey,
Mm.
we told you. We've been calling you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hello.
so when
Hello.
When I tried to pray for her on to lift it up,
Yes.
Yes.
she said it was scary.
It
So
was
I,
intense, I
right.
guess.
So I did, even then I didn't realize the intensity of it, but I just stopped.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, I
And yeah,
stopped.
because it is
Because it is
freaky,
freaky.
a lot of
A lot
times
of
for a
times
lot
for
of
a lot of
people,
people,
so that's
so that's
why
why
I think we
I
don't
think we
talk
don't
about
talk
it a
about it a
lot,
lot,
in the
Mm-hmm.
divine feminine community
community
because
because
it's not
it's not
always met
always
with
met
open
with open
arms,
arms,
even with
even with
those
those
closest to us,
closest
you
to
know
us,
what I
you know
mean?
what I mean?
Because
Because
what's not
what's not
understood is
understood
deemed
is
to be
deemed to be
scary.
scary.
And
Yes.
that's
And
not
that's not
what
what
I aim to
I aim
do,
to do.
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
Is
freak
freak
anybody out
anybody
or,
out or,
ghost
ghost
stories or
stories
whatever
or
you want
whatever
to
you
say.
want to
You know what
say.
I'm
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
I'm
these
like,
are
these are
your
your
people. They are
people. They are
watching out
watching out
for
for
you.
you.
For
For
instance,
instance,
I have
I
an
have an
ancestor altar
ancestor
set up
altar
in
set
my
up in my
home,
home,
and
and
pictures. I
pictures.
was
I was
fortunate
fortunate
enough
enough
to,
to,
you know,
you know,
um,
um,
and so
and
I
so
teach
and I
my
teach my
grandchildren,
grandchildren,
this
this
is
is
so and so,
so and
this is
so,
so
this
and
is so
so,
and
this is
so,
so
this
and
is so
so,
and so,
because my
because my
great
great
grandmother,
grandmother,
like I said, who
like I
was
said, who
born
was
in
born in
1895,
1895,
who helped
who
my
helped my
mother
mother
raise
raise
me.
me.
Now,
Now she, okay,
her
her
mother was
mother
the
was the
product
product
of
of
the
the
slave
slave
master and the
master and the
slave,
slave,
right?
Oh my
right?
gosh.
So,
So
I got
I got
like
like
firsthand
firsthand
stories,
stories
and
and
to
to
see,
see
she was
she
very,
was
very
very
prejudiced,
prejudiced,
Mm-hmm.
against
against
Caucasian
Caucasian
people.
people.
And I'm
And I'm
like,
like,
well, Big
well,
Mama,
Big Mama,
what's going
what's
on?
going
And
on?
she
And she
had to sit
had to
me
sit me
down
down
and tell me
and
what
tell
was
me what was
happening, and
happening,
nothing
and
could
nothing
change
could
her
change her
mind.
mind.
Well, if
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
had
if I
been
had
through
been
something
through
like
something
that,
like that,
you know what I
you know what
mean?
I mean?
I do.
And
I'm
so,
very fortunate to have met my father's mother's mother, my great great grandmother.
nice.
Yes, ma'am, and
Yeah,
in
okay.
Lafayette, and my great great grandmother used to tell me, and I was like between 5 and 9,
Uh-huh.
and I remember her sitting in a wheelchair with this long gray hair, and she had green eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and she was sitting in a wheelchair, and she's telling this story about how the slaves, when they wanted to whip a pregnant woman, they would make
Mm.
them dig a hole in the ground and make them lay down with their bellies in the ground and whoop their and slash their backs.
Oh, I
Oh, I
get it.
And
get it.
Oh,
Oh,
wow, that's
wow, that's
and
heavy.
so,
heavy.
yes, ma'am. And so that really stuck with me at that little age. And
Mm-hmm.
as I grew
Mm-hmm.
older, you know what I mean? It became my story because I
Yes.
wanted to tell that. It was obviously meant for me to know that. It was imprinted on my mind, my memory, my psychosis, my heart, my
Mm-hmm.
template as that child because I had never heard it. And why would you do that? You didn't
Yeah.
think about the prejudice of that era. You just
It
thought to
didn't make
yourself,
sense.
like,
Yeah.
that's very barbaric to do as a human.
Right.
Right.
As a
As a
human, you're
human. You're
right.
Yes.
right.
And
And
so
so
that does
that does
become a
become a
part of your
part of your
story. Like
story. Like
my
my
mother,
mother
was very
was
dark
very dark
skinned, right?
skinned, right?
My
My
father,
father,
even though he was a
he was
black
a black
man,
man,
was
was
very light
very
to
light
have
to
blue
have blue
eyes and
eyes
red
and red
hair. It
hair. It
happens,
happens,
right?
right?
Because
Mm-hmm.
we make
We make
all sorts of
all
colors.
sorts of colors.
But my
But my
mother
mother
told me her
told me
life
her
was
life
so
was so
hard.
hard.
She was
She
born
was
in
born in
1944,
1944,
Mm-hmm.
and
and
that life
that
was
life was
hard for
hard
her,
for
being a
her being a
dark-skinned
dark-skinned
woman.
woman.
So
So
my mother
my
was
mother
a
was a
planner,
planner,
you know,
you know,
down to
down
the
to the
key. So
T. So
she
she
did not
did
want to
not
have
want to
any
have any
dark-skinned
dark-skinned
children
children
because
because
she did
she
not
did
want
not
their
want
life
their
to be
life to be
hard.
hard.
Mm.
And
That
And
so
so
that was
that was
heavy for
heavy for
me.
me.
that's a part of the Louisiana, culture too with the brown bag theory. You know,
Mhm.
growing up, I saw a lot of the high yellow, light skin cousins, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it kind of stopped at me with my cousins, girls.
Mhm.
Well, and then my siblings that were my dad's children, they weren't. They
Okay.
were a little bit darker, but
Right, right,
that
right.
was because that first wife was a dark skinned lady. But because he had children with my mother, that made me in a different energy. You can't hear me? Oh, I don't know why. I don't know why. Am I muting? I'm perfect here on this end.
Boy, I
I
tell you,
tell you,
I don't know what that was about.
that
that
was
was
odd. Oh,
odd.
there
Oh,
you
there
are.
you are.
Yeah,
Can you
I
hear
don't
Can
know
me?
you hear
what.
me?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't even
I
know.
don't even know.
And now
but
I'm
the
sideways.
phone the
Okay,
phone is
that's weird.
sideways, so if you might need to twist the phone.
Okay,
Me.
let me
Let me
try.
try.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right.
But
Okay.
yeah,
But
so
yeah,
and so
so
my
my
father.
father.
What? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just go.
just go.
No.
No.
Okay.
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 Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
think
my
my
Bluetooth or
Bluetooth or
something
something hooked.
my husband
My
was
husband
trying
was
to
trying
leave,
to
so
leave,
the
so the
Bluetooth hooked
Bluetooth
up,
hooked
and
up, and
that's what
that's what
happened.
Ah,
happened.
got it.
But
But
That's
my
my
sister and
sister and
I
I
have
have
different
different
fathers. So
fathers.
my
So my
father was
father was
basically this
basically
color.
this color.
Now he
Now
was
he was
actually
actually
a
a
prominent member
prominent
of the
member of
Black
the Black
Panthers
Panthers
here in
here in
Denver.
Denver.
hmm
I
I
mean,
mean,
my
my
he had
he
to
had
move
to
to
move to
Belize
Belize
because he was
because he was
told by the
told by the
government
government
either
either
leave the
leave the
country or
country or
we will
we
kill
will
you.
kill you.
hmm
So he
So
had to
he
leave
had to
my
leave my
mother.
mother.
He went to
He went to
Belize
Belize,
for it
for
was,
it was,
when it
when
was
it was
really
really
like
like
the rainforest,
rainforest.
okay?
Okay,
hmm
So that
so that
happened, and
happened, and
so
so
my
my
mother
mother
remarried to my
remarried to my
stepdad,
stepdad,
wonderful
wonderful
man,
man,
who
who
again, now
again,
he was
and he
more
was
your
more your
color, but
color, but
had green
had green
eyes.
eyes.
My mother
My
was
mother was
calculated.
calculated.
hmm
She did
She
not
did
want her
not want her
children to have a
children to have a
harder
harder
life.
life.
And I'm
And
like, well,
I'm like, well,
dang, mom,
dang,
did you
mom, did
like
you
them?
like them?
I
I
mean, or
mean,
was
or
it
was it
about a
about a
color thing?
color
But
thing? But
being born in
being
the
born in the
40s, dark
40s,
skin
dark
in
skin
life
and
was
life was
hard.
hard.
And I
And
think
I
about,
think
I was
about, I was
born in
born in
68. My
68.
mother
My
was
mother was
pregnant with
pregnant with
me
me
when
when
Martin Luther
Martin Luther
King was
King was
murdered.
murdered.
hmm
And I
And
do
I do
believe that
believe
that sorrow, that,
sorrow, that,
you know what I
you know what I
mean?
mean? It
Is
is
embedded in
embedded
a
in
lot
a
of
lot
us
of us
who,
who,
you know what I
you know
mean?
what I
We're
mean?
born in that particular era, and that's part of the
Right.
template because, and that's how they sway us and oppress
Hmm.
us on the planet because they use that by way of the wave frequency, like the sea of emotions that have been
Yes.
swayed during that particular time, their mentality, the way that we thought, as so a
Yeah.
man and or woman thinketh, so it became a new paradigm as to what was
Yes.
about to happen.
And that was
And that was
grief,
grief,
the
the
sorrow she
sorrow she
experienced while
experienced
being
while being
pregnant with
pregnant with
me
me
hmm
at that
at that
time, April
time,
4th,
April 4th,
1968, and I was
1968, and I
born
was
in
born in
October.
October.
That gets
That gets
embedded in your
embedded in your
DNA,
DNA,
whether
whether
Oh,
you
yes.
realize
That's
it
your
or
realize it or
template.
not.
not.
That's your
So
DNA
then,
template.
so
Yes,
then,
ma'am.
we come
We
out
come out
like,
like
um,
um,
power to the
power
people,
to the
like
people, like
we have
we
that
have that
fire,
fire.
you
hmm
know what I
You know what
mean?
I mean?
Because
Because
of what our
what our
It's
mothers
that
mothers
went
warrior.
through.
went through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes,
You
goddess.
know,
I
know,
promise you, I can relate and I can see it in you. I see your aura. I see it everything. So,
yes,
yes,
ma'am,
yes,
ma'am.
ma'am, sis,
vice
vice
versa.
versa.
And so
And so
I can't
I
help
can't
it. And
help it.
so
And so every,
my
my
father
father
would
would
sneak into
sneak
the
into the
United
United
States every
States
few
every few
years
years
and like
and
show
like
up at
show up at
my
my
like
like
elementary
elementary
school or
school or
whatever.
whatever.
And
Awesome.
the
And the
FBI
FBI
would
would
come
come
and
and
question me
question me
a day
a
or
day
two
or two
later, I was
later, I was
6,
6,
and they would
and they
ask
would
me if
ask
I
me
had
if I
seen
had
my
seen my
father, but I
father,
was
but I was
coached
coached
to know
to
what to
know what to
say.
say.
Mm.
And that's
That's
heavy.
heavy.
When I was
I was
6,
6,
but I knew
knew
that they would
that they
kill
would
my
kill my
father.
father.
Right.
So
So
I knew
I
what to
knew what to
say.
say.
You know what I
You know what
mean?
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
but I
but
went
I
through
went
that,
through that,
and
and
to know
to
that
know that
somebody, and
somebody,
he
and
was,
he was,
he loved.
he loved.
I'm his
I'm
only,
his only,
daughter,
daughter,
and
and
so the
so the
fact that
fact that
he would
he would
literally
literally
sneak into the
sneak into the
country
country
to see
to see
me
me
Ashe.
was
was
everything.
everything.
And him and
And
my
him and my
mother,
mother,
even though my
even though
mother
my
had
mother had
remarried, they
remarried,
had
they had
uh, uh, their
their
relationship was
relationship
like
was
this
like this
because they had
because they
me in
had me
common.
in
Wasn't no
common. Wasn't no
beef.
beef.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
my mama
My
just
mama
said
just
she
said
wasn't
she
moving
wasn't
to
moving to
Belize because she
Belize because
like
she
running
like running
water.
water.
I used to always wanted to go there. I had a couple of friends, and it's so funny because my daughter asked me today when we were coming home before I called you.
Mm.
She was saying, Mom, she said, Mom, I looked at your after looking at some of your life, you've had a lot of dread people. And I said they just liked me. I don't know. They just
Well,
liked
and
me. I don't know.
it is
It
what
is
it
what it
is.
is.
It's
It is what
that
it
That
is.
attraction. But
attraction.
see,
But
back
Yeah, I was
see,
like,
then it
I
back then
don't
it
wasn't
know.
wasn't
like
like
big
big
city. It
city.
was
It was
really
really
rugged.
rugged.
You know,
I
back
wanted
No,
to
then
back
go
in
in
the
the
there so
'70s.
bad, but
70s.
one of my friends that lives there, once he started talking to me about it, and I don't know, I was just kind of like, nah, kind of shied away. But he started messing around with some other girl that I knew, and he took her to police, wind
Mhm.
up getting into some real deep trouble.
Mm.
Yes,
Mm.
Well,
Well, it was
it was
it was
crazy. And
crazy. And
then there
then there
were
were
I don't know how their laws are
there was
there,
a
but
lot of
she couldn't barely
war.
come back.
But like El
El
Salvador and them
Salvador and
over
them
there,
over
like
there. Like
there was a
there
lot
was a
of
lot of
war
war
between here
between
and
here and
Belize. So
Belize. So
my
my
mother would
mother
never
would
let me
never let me
go
go
because they were
they
taking
were
Mm-hmm.
taking
hostages and
hostages and
all
Mm-hmm.
kind of
all kind of
crazy stuff.
crazy
And I was
stuff. And
just
I
a
was just
little
a little
girl,
girl, you know.
Come
Um,
Um,
but when all
when
that
all
is
that is
embedded in your
embedded in your
DNA,
DNA,
like
like
you
you
move
move
different.
different.
on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
No,
And
I
I
mean,
do.
not in a
not in
I
a
bad
look.
way,
bad
I
way,
don't
you
even
know.
like some of that. Some of that. I try to um, look at most of all of the background and the people that people, places, and things that you've interacted with, especially on a
Yeah.
spiritual thing. Now you look back on it, and you didn't know it was spiritual back then, but now you do.
Ex- yep.
Yep.
Now you do. And so
Yep.
now you're looking at it like, damn. Or you're looking at it like, dang, I got to fix that. Or how can I go back and fix it? And you can't. But you can
No.
go ahead and see where that pattern lied. And
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
was a pattern for you. And you
Yeah.
can learn to reprogram and rewrite. Oh, I just saw the AOL again.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's
too
too
funny.
funny.
Oh my
Oh
God,
my
can't make it
God,
We
up.
could rewrite that old program from back in the day and,
Look,
start afresh, start anew.
you
you
know
know
what we
what we
speak
speak
comes to
comes to
fruition in
fruition
the
in the
weirdest
weirdest
ways.
ways.
I know.
And
You
that's
know,
why
that's why
I
I
talk less and I
less and I
tell my
tell my
kids,
kids,
watch what
watch what
you
you
say.
say.
You're more
You're more
powerful than
powerful
you
than
think
you think.
I know.
because you
Because you
can
can
bless yourself
bless
or
yourself
curse
or curse
yourself,
yourself, you know?
Yes.
So sometimes just
Sometimes
be
just be
quiet,
quiet,
you know,
Yes.
you know?
till you
Hold
figure out
hold
what
on
you
here
want
for
to
a minute.
do. Sure, sure.
I'm gonna pause this for a second because I'm
Mhm.
gonna turn
Mhm.
this speaker off.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I don't know what you think you're doing.
Look,
She must
look,
really want
jealous.
to be on the camera.
Yes,
Yes,
her
her
cute
cute
And
self.
self.
she just keeps on stepping on me, like, hey, you want some attention, but I'm live.
Hmm.
Like,
She
Like,
said,
well,
well,
hmm. She said,
no,
hmm.
no,
she
she
said
said
we
we
live.
live.
Oh, she said, we live. Get your
Yeah,
you get your
yeah.
debut. So she's been having some like breathing issues. So I gave her some mullein leaf. Yes.
Yep.
Yep,
Get yeah. Oh
Good
my
good
gosh.
stuff.
stuff.
Yes, gave her some mullein leaf, and she's not
Hmm.
snoring and being loud and sounding all asthmatic.
Yep.
Yep,
Oh, I was so
That's
that's
good
grateful.
good
stuff.
stuff.
You can
You
you can
can
drink
drink
it
it
as
as
a
a
tea.
tea.
And
And
the
the
craziest
craziest
thing
thing
is
is
with
with
breathing
breathing
issues,
issues,
you
you
can
can
actually
actually
smoke
smoke
mullein
mullein,
and
and
it
it
helps.
helps.
It's
It's
crazy.
crazy
Well,
Because
I
because
you're
just
you're
bought
like,
the
like,
well,
well,
tincture
smoke
one
something
ain't
for her.
good.
The first 2 days, I just took the tincture and in a
Yeah,
syringe, and then I stuffed it in her mouth. But
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
after a minute, I was like, I'm not doing that. So I put it in her water.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Because
Because
it's
it's
not
not
nasty
nasty,
or,
or
you
you
know.
know.
She didn't like it the first 2 days, I'm sure, but that third day, I was tired of trying to fight with her about it, so I just put it in her water. But that really did help her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
four
four
out of
out of
my
my
five
five
children
children
are
are
asthmatic.
asthmatic,
So
so
I
I
am
am
very
very
familiar
familiar
with
with
mullein.
mullein.
Yeah,
That's
she
how
and
our
Family
family
she
ended
ended
up
up here
here
in
in
she as well.
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yes. So do you and they're on inhalers and stuff like that. She's like that too, my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Mhm.
I
mean,
mean,
you
you
know,
know,
when you
when you
can't
can't
breathe,
breathe,
that's
that's
like
like
an
an
awful.
awful.
I
I
mean,
mean,
there's
there's
nothing
nothing
like
like
it.
it.
And
And
you
you
know,
know,
breath
breath
of
of
life,
life,
you
you
know,
know,
the
the
whole
whole
thing,
thing,
not
not
just
just
physically,
physically,
but
but
spiritually.
spiritually.
When
When
you
you
can't
can't
breathe,
breathe,
Mhm.
it's a
it's a
whole
whole
nother
nother
level
level
because,
because
let
let
me
me
see,
see,
three
three
of
of
my
my
children,
children,
there's a
there's a
school
school
at
at
National
National
Jewish.
Jewish,
And
and
they
they
went
went
there,
there,
and
and
now
now
my
my
grandchildren
grandchildren
go
go
there.
there.
Sweet.
But
But
they
they
teach
teach
them
them
how
how
to,
to,
you
you
know,
know,
recognize
recognize
how to
how to
take
take
care of
care of
themselves.
themselves.
You know
You
what
know
I
what I
mean?
mean?
Mm.
Before
Before
it
it
gets
gets
to
to
that
that
point,
point,
because
because
it was it was
it was
Now
rough.
that
rough.
you're saying that, we did have to go over there. When she first
Hmm.
when she first got diagnosed, and she kept
Hmm.
coming back and forth, they
Right.
finally
Right.
just made us go over there to Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I remember that appointment. I thought it was something I was going to go look for a job, but it wasn't. It was me bringing her because she was only like
Hmm.
3 or 4, 5,
Yeah.
Yep.
if that.
Ooh, and
Ooh, and
that's a
that's a
scary
scary
age
age
for
for
asthma.
asthma.
My
My
Yeah,
God.
because
God.
she wanted running all the time, and
See, and
See, and
I
I
had
had
asthma,
asthma,
and
and
that's
that's
what
what
actually
actually
killed
killed
my
my
father
father
was
was
asthma.
asthma.
So
So
unfortunately,
unfortunately,
it
it
runs
runs
in the
in the
family.
family.
And
mm,
And
that's
that's
how
how
our
our
family
family
ended
ended
up
up
in
in
Colorado
Colorado
because
because
it was
it was
said that
said
the
that the
higher
higher
elevation
elevation
would
would
help
help
and
and
National
National
Jewish
Jewish
was
was
here.
here.
Because
Because
my
my
mother
mother
was
was
born in
born in
Florida.
Florida.
you would
You
think
You
that
know,
that
know,
makes no sense.
it
it
does
that
You would think that
logically.
that makes no sense. You would think that being in the South and getting that humidity and in your lungs, that would be okay. But I get it. When you're down that far, when you're down that low, because you
Right.
right.
can't get any, it's dense, more denser, and you
Well,
Well,
I
can't
I
mean,
get
mean,
yeah.
there.
yeah.
When I
When I
go
go
to the
to the
south,
south,
if the
the
air is
air is
so
so
heavy,
heavy.
I
I
have
have
a
a
really
really
hard
hard
time
time
breathing.
breathing.
That's
So,
why.
So,
That's why in some of those indigenous areas, my mother owns about 7 acres in Oklahoma, and when I
mm,
go there, you could just see all of the people there. They're and you can't really Indians can't really drink.
mm-hmm,
mhm.
mm-hmm.
They can't really drink, okay? And
See,
so
You're
you're
it's
right.
a
right.
dry state. It's a dry
Yeah.
Yeah.
county. So
Mhm.
you have to go on the outskirts to get beer and liquor and stuff like that.
Right.
Right.
Um,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hold
Hold
on.
on.
oh, that was
What?
What?
I don't
I don't
even
even
know.
know.
that was me. I'm flashing.
See?
I was freezing. I was swinging energy
All
too.
right.
Right.
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
where'd
where'd
you
you
go?
go?
Swinging energy. So
Girl,
yeah,
yeah.
but it's a dry county, so you have to go outside the
Mm-hmm.
outskirts to get the liquor or what have you. But most of the time, you can't even really drink there because it's so
Yeah.
dense,
Yeah.
and you can get really, really drunk, get really sick.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So,
Quickly.
Quickly.
but yeah,
You
that
get
Get
coming
drunk
drunk
here,
quickly.
quickly.
yeah, coming here to Colorado, that would be the best bet. And a lot of people came from from Oklahoma to Colorado for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
From
all
all
over. And
over. And
that's
Mm-hmm.
that's
how
how
we
we
ended
ended
up
up
here,
here, you know,
And I get it. I didn't understand it. I'm like, what's wrong with that? I don't like the snow, you know. But my
But it
big
didn't.
mama explained it to me, you know.
Now,
And it's I mean, I have those memories now. That experience with her, like she taught me she was older, like I said, 1895. So I went to a lot of funerals, okay? While my
mm-hmm.
mother was in school and nursing, okay? So death didn't bother me. Like she taught me like life is wonderful, but you ain't gonna get out of it alive, so chill.
Right. I used to look when I was like, we not? we
Yeah.
we not?
I mean, yeah, we go through our emotional stuff, you know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
I have to, my spirituality is what gets me through it because I can call on them, I talk to them, it keeps me sane.
Yeah.
Because if I thought it was the end and nothing, I don't think I could handle the grief. And I've learned, it's tough, because we're stuck in this meat suit. We're human,
Yeah.
but I know, I mean, in my heart of hearts, that it keeps going. It's another journey. Still hard.
Yeah. It
But
is.
she taught me that as a kid.
Yeah.
She used to say, he right next door. Whoever, he right next door. I'm like, huh? Is he really? Freak me out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, that's part of our spirituality. We always, I go back to the old ways, not what was forced on us,
I do
What was
too.
forced on us was cruel.
And it's so weird how I receive it. And the way
Mm.
that I've read my DNA template, because even though we were growing up as children and my grandmother had 21 kids, you hear me?
Ooh.
And she had all of them bringing all of their kids over her house on a Saturday, so that we could,
Mm-hmm.
or on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so we could spend the
Yeah.
night. Everybody, the church was us and the choir. And then she would get us all in the floor and she would teach us. But when she would teach us, I remember, and I do share this, and she knows that her and I have made this amends. It didn't
Mm.
make it good in the first beginning of the spiritual journey. I was still kind of like, why did you force this on me, kind of thing. But she was
Right.
just like asking what, everybody had followed, and everybody was like, yeah, we Christians, and and I said, I'm Baptist. I'm the only.
No.
I said I was the only child that was sitting there telling me I'm Baptist. And so she said, no, we ain't. No, you ain't. And I said, and I thought to
Hmm.
myself, why the hell are you yelling at me about that? Didn't Jesus
Yeah.
baptize John and John baptized Jesus? What difference does
Uh-huh.
it make? And then I knew then in my own
Yeah.
mind, didn't nobody have to tell me,
Mm.
I'm still going to follow that. Okay?
Hmm.
That was the other path. That was the path that we was all supposed to follow.
You
Because
know it.
it was supposed to lead you into the energy. All I knew about was when I was growing was Krishna. That's all I knew.
Mm.
All I knew about was
Mm.
Krishna. And when I got ready to go past every temple, only reason why I really did like them was because they were always nice to me. They were always
Hmm.
sweet to me. And whenever I
Yeah.
would see them, they always remembered me. And
Yeah.
I liked them. And when
Mm.
we got ready to pass by their temple, I knew their song. I didn't hear them. If I did, I don't remember. If I did, it was probably them outside ringing that bell, and it was just stuck in my DNA template.
Yeah.
But every time I passed by
Yeah.
any of those temples, I literally sung their song,
Hmm.
the Hare Krishna. So
Mm.
it was something that, and then when I grew, it was just kind of like, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something
Hmm.
else. I just couldn't figure it out.
Couldn't pinpoint it because we didn't know.
Right. And so hey, my bad. Um I just couldn't figure out what it was. It wasn't Krishna and it wasn't Christian. It wasn't
Right, right,
Christianity
right.
and it wasn't Baptist. It was
Uh-huh.
something I just couldn't figure it out.
Something else. Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
but it was more once I started to get older, then I realized it was like, is this have to?
Deeper than
It was
that.
deeper than that. Does this have to do with my
Older.
right? And I said it's much older, but it felt like it was like I needed to address my other part of my DNA, my father's DNA, and
Okay.
I just didn't. I was like, I'll address that. I'll figure it out later when I'm older. But that was the part. It was I didn't know that then though. I just knew
Hmm.
that there was something else that I'm supposed to do, bigger and better than what I'm supposed to do, and much
Something
greater than
else.
something to do in the world. Not just some like, oh,
Mm.
she's a such and such.
Hmm.
No.
Yeah,
You
that
know, it was
doesn't
for
fit.
something greater. And I but once it kept bugging me, I was like, man, I'll figure it out when I get older. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
that's what it was. It was the other side of that DNA. I just saw the word
Mm.
alien. It
Yeah.
was that other side of the DNA alien template that was basically saying like, hey, these are things that you need to address of the multifaceted self that so that you
Yeah.
can be able to be in tuned and walk in tune and be attuned to what it
Yeah.
is that you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Don't limit yourself. That's how I always felt. Because if you black, you grew up in the church. You did. Everybody went to church. Period. And it was alright. I mean, I wasn't like opposed to it, but I always knew there was something more.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt really limited. But one thing, like my father knew he was gonna die early, and he made me read everything. We're talking the phone book, cereal boxes, the back, everything, because he said if you can read, there's nothing you can't figure out.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to reading and studying, and I'm like, this ain't adding up to me. I'm more than that. We're more than that.
Way more.
It's bigger than this. Now, I do not knock anybody's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my place. I don't do that for what? Because if it works for them, it works for them, and that's cool. But I don't talk a lot about my spirituality to people who aren't ready to hear it and receive it. Because I'm like, you ain't finna come to my house with no pitchforks and torches. You know, because that's how, But I mean, they've demonized us and what we do in our practices, because what we study and practice is way older than Islam, Christianity, anything. You had to pick a side or die.
Well, that's
And
how
that's it.
that's how they was trying to make everybody be when Trump was in. It was about to be like that if people wouldn't have been focusing.
Man, look here. Look here. I seen it right on the road. Like, oh man. But it's bigger than that. But then, when people are like, oh, well, you know this and you know that, I read, I study, and then there are those elders, and some of these young ones get it too. I learned. I can learn something from a 3-year-old.
Yeah, if you the once you start thinking that you know everything, you might as well get your casket, pick it out, get everything
Because you
straight
do.
for you. You know what I'm saying? You better get busy living or get busy dying. Now, as soon as you sit up there thinking that the fact that you know every dang thing at every given
Mm.
time on this planet, that means you ready to die. You got more room to learn every day.
My husband just had a birthday. He turned 55. So one of our grandchildren, her name is Blessing. Okay?
Ooh, beautiful.
Blessyn. So she did, most of the kids be like, dang, y'all old as hell, right? Blessing said, Grandpa, I'm so proud of you. You growing up.
Oh, honey. Mm, that's the
Okay.
best respect you could ever give.
Do you, in other words, she said, you still continuing on your journey, not one foot in the grave.
Yeah,
I said, she's touched, y'all, like by several angels, okay?
yeah.
That right, and it was so natural. Oh, you grown up.
Aww.
I said, that baby knows.
Yes. Yes. That sounds so pretty and beautiful. Like, that
Oh,
was
okay.
a
You
memory
almost
that you can
cried, girl.
hold. I know you probably.
Mm. I said, look, thinking about it, I'm tearing up. I'm like, that baby blessed us with that statement. You know what I'm saying?
For
And
real.
her name is Blessing. I'm like, my daughter named her the right name because she says stuff like that all the time.
Wow.
You know? And I'm just like, huh, because we're still growing, we're still learning. We getting big, y'all.
Yeah.
You know?
My little cousins is as tall as they are, be 6 and 7 feet, and I'm only standing at 5 even. They all be like, I still look at them like, hey, and they still tell me, they be like, we love you, cousin, you so big, and we appreciate you, for coming on the planet and help with us. And I'm thinking to myself like, and I used to always be like, what do they know?
Just saying.
Yeah.
Or what do they feel?
What?
Because
Yeah.
people will
Why
forget
do?
what you do.
Yeah, but why does my energy make you feel? How does my energy make you feel in the ways that you feel for you to give me those types of
Your heart,
accolades? Like, because
your
I don't
heart
feel
never
it, I
forgets.
don't sense it. It's not to say I don't sense it. I don't. I wasn't saying I was trying to even understand it. It was just like, oh, okay, this is just
Mm.
family cousin love. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you just
Mm-hmm.
my cousin. Like, okay, oh well. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't, and then lots of people say that when you exchange the energy like that. But I don't really think
Mm-hmm.
anything of it because I'm just a pure heart like that. I don't think like that. I don't think like,
Right.
yeah, I'm egoic and I'm gonna do this, and I'm no.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I did a
Yeah,
lot of
see, that's
work,
the
and
thing.
when I
Yeah.
did, I peeled off those layers. I was a crying, wimping noodle.
Honey, I feels that. Okay?
I was just like, oh my God.
And you can't even explain it.
No. And when I hit that bliss level, oh my gosh,
Mm,
I wanted it for everybody on the planet. And not even
yeah.
whether or not you deserved it or not. I wanted it for everybody on the planet. And I
Right.
really shouldn't have done that. But I just wanted it for everybody because it was so healing. Oh my God.
Yeah, see? Look, look, I'm there. I'm there. I'm telling you. I told my daughter yesterday, I said, you know, people come and go, men come and go, whatever. You'll forget,
Oh, let me.
like,
I got it. Oh,
people's
here, got
deeds.
some. I got some.
Go ahead, girl. It's all
Sorry.
good. Yeah. But the heart never forgets. So when you see a certain person, it's not that you remember what they've done, but how they made you feel.
Yeah.
Because, I've, a lot of stuff, girl, I can't remember yesterday sometimes, but I remember how I felt yesterday,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like that with people.
Mhm.
And so when I pay attention to that, because I can, that energy pull, that when it's good or bad, you know it right away. You know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And, like, I'll get stressed out going to Walmart. It's too many energies. It's too much.
Renee.
You know?
Goddess, let me tell you. Yeah, that's why
Oh,
I go to Sam's.
yeah.
That's why I go
Look,
to Sam's and I get
okay.
everything in bulk so I don't have to go to the store for a very long time.
Because I need
Because
two
I'm
things.
just like,
Ooh,
and
it's
then
too much.
like when I am like, I go and I want a couple times I remember meditating and I left and went outside.
Mm.
Wrong thing to do. My
Mm.
energy was so high. I was, hey, like today I was pretty high. I'm not gonna lie to you because I had just left a Billy Carson live with Dr. Greer. I don't know if you know him.
No, I don't, but you tell me about him later. But go
Yeah, yeah,
ahead.
yeah. But I had left him out of that energy, and the energy was so freaking high when I got ready to leave. That's why we started laughing because as I was driving down the street, she kept saying, "Why you keep saying hi to everybody?"
I'm
I said,
feeling it.
"Hi,
Yeah.
how you doing?" And so then when
Feel
we saw
good
the
for
dog,
it.
we at the light, and the dog goes, "Ruff!" And I said, "Ruff!"
Oh, that's when you posted that. Okay.
And she said, "Mom, what is wrong with you? You keep talking
Yeah.
and saying hi to everybody."
You done barked at the dog. Well, that you're feeling it. I love it.
Yes, yes, yes.
I love it. But who thinks to go ground, protect, ward, and meditate before they go to the grocery store?
No
Nobody.
one, no one. But I was
So when
just,
you go
I
to,
was probably, I was just like, I was sitting outside chilling. That's what I was doing. And then she was just like, "Can you take me to the store?" Other
yeah,
than that, I wouldn't have done that.
I'm telling you, like it and I'm like, why don't know like Walmart? Like the prices are good. Like what's the deal? But the energies are so intense, and there's so many
Oh,
angry people in there, man. Tripping. Like the workers are the ones that are pissed.
yeah.
Like I mean, it's a lot. And people are like that don't make no sense. I'm like,
I don't even go to the stores in my location. In
mm,
my neighborhood, I don't go to stores in my location anymore. I go outside. Um,
mm,
and because then that way I can kind of enjoy my time, and I go like
yeah.
either early in the morning or real late at night when it's not that many people.
When the stores used to stay open 24
Ooh,
hours.
I used to love that.
Oh my gosh.
I used to love that. Yeah, that was awesome. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Ever since I started, I started to bawl. Now my nose is running. If I should,
It's
once I
all right.
started to
It's okay. It's all,
cry.
let it out, girl. Let it out.
Oh
Let
my
it out.
gosh,
Let
nuh-uh. My mom always tells me you're a bawling baby.
it.
Yeah, you
But
do. You
if it
always
be
cry.
like, look, so, and the crazy thing about my family, it's really odd. Now I'm 54, and I'm the elder in my family, and that's kind of unusual for most people, you know. And like that's some heavy shit. You know what I mean? When you're the elder, I mean, I know I'm
Only
up
at
there, but
54 though.
yeah, I'm the oldest
That's
person.
young.
That's my point. So it's weird, you know. Um, but it is what it is. So I delegate, not delegate, but my elder duties is my elder duties. You know what I mean? And it's a lot, and I try to make sure that I, do it correctly
Hmm.
because it's important. I try to slow down and give the lessons. And I always tell my kids and my grandkids when I say, always remember and never forget, whatever I say after that, remember it for life.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they know.
Yeah. So do you write down any journals or anything like that? And so that it in once the perishing of our vessels, we can at least leave some
Hmm.
things so that and I've been
Yes.
trying to construct them in some perfect knowledge notes where they can at least understand it because
Hmm.
I've got some crazy notes, and where only you understand them, but you want to be able to construct them so that an ordinary person can walk up
So
to that book
shows.
and be able to, you know what I mean, and literally say, "Hey, I'm gonna teach and learn and teach off of what Nana or Grandma, Big Mama, whomever taught me."
Yeah. And it's important. My oldest granddaughter is 15, and she asked me that specifically.
Mm.
Please, can you leave me your uh, with the shadows,
Mhm.
whatever, grimoire, whatever, please. And I'm like, she's a teenager. They don't mess with stuff like that. I found a journal tucked away in a box somewhere from 2001. I was going through some things.
Mm-hmm. And you reread it, you
So,
go back and you go, dang.
yes, the growth made me feel really good.
Mm.
Because what I was tripping on back then is so irrelevant right now.
Mm-hmm. And that's
And
good
I
to
love
do.
that.
But you know what I used to do? I have a lot of black people don't really like to go to psychologists and psychiatrists and stuff like that. But during the
Right.
accident, when I had a car accident,
Mm,
psychologically, I just kept saying somebody's gonna hit me from behind again. You know what I mean? And
mm,
so I
mm-hmm.
had to get a little help from that one, but it was like, hey, look at this ink blot. Let me check it out. You know, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Ain't nothing wrong with
but
it.
he
Mm-hmm.
asked me a series of questions. Every question he asked me, I already naturally did. And he says, really? And I said, yeah. He asked me why I kept the journal, why, I kept the diary, what have you, and why the method. Now, I would like have stacks and stacks of diaries. Okay. But
Yeah.
after each one, depending on what I got over in that book, I would
Mm-hmm.
burn it. I would put it in like a
Mm.
trash can and I would burn it. And he asked me why I
Okay.
did that method. At the time, I really didn't understand why I was doing it. Well, no, well, yeah, I
Uh-huh.
did. At the time, I just didn't want nobody getting my information and reading it. And I
I
wanted,
get that.
you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes,
So
ma'am.
after I processed the information, I burned it.
Mm.
Never to be
That,
read, never to be, you know what I'm saying? And if there was any
yeah.
DNA cellular memory that was there that became issues within the tissues, that's another story that I do another
I
another.
know. I love it. I love it.
But yeah, but the issues in the tissues, I'm gonna step that up. There's gonna be different videos that I'm gonna do myself and actually
Okay.
teach through a scenario of types of sheathings and stuff like that. But that's another story. But all those things became issues within the tissue later, but we didn't know that. So when I was able to process in that way, but the soul naturally
Mm.
knows what to do. I guess because at that time I just was
True.
like, I just didn't want nobody to read my words. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I
But
get that.
the
Because I.
psychiatrist was like, no,
Mm,
that's a good thing to do. Do you still do it? I was like, no.
mm.
I do other stuff now. I just read books.
Yeah, girl, look. Give me some books and a tree. Girl,
Oh my gosh.
time will pass, because as a little girl, I always had this affinity for trees. And I never knew, I've never been athletic. I was kind of a sickly kid. I would climb a tree. I would sit in a tree for hours like a bird. But trees have always, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It always meant something. Kind of the as above, so below,
Those are the
And
ancestors. That's
I didn't know then, and then just the healing, tree hugger type stuff.
Mhm.
There's something to that. People laugh at it, but it's a thing,
Yeah, yeah. We didn't
And
understand it back then. When the white people used to do it, but we used to laugh at
yeah.
it in Generation X, so to speak. We used
Mhm.
to laugh at
But
that.
now,
I'm like, what the
man,
heck are they talking about? They hug wood, you know.
yeah, because it did look
Yeah,
crazy.
they did. They did.
But you know what I loved about that with them? They didn't care
No, they didn't.
if it looked crazy.
Now,
That's
look,
that freedom.
now we're those people.
Now, yeah, we them.
Yep, now we're those
We're
people.
them. Because, yeah, and I uh, care what people think and don't understand.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Um,
Uh-uh.
the omni essence, the omniverse, it allowed me, once I was able to wake up to the fullness thereof of my own personal DNA, I was able to see in a different perspective where you have to be able to meet people where they are. You
Yes.
cannot force any of the information. You can only meet them of their level of understanding, because not every one of us received the information like brother, sister,
Mhm.
mother, cousin, pastor had shown them when they were growing
Yep.
up. So whatever belief system that each and every one of us had, even regardless of what when we were in church,
Yeah.
Yeah.
each one of us grew up underneath and serving a different God. You
You're
get
You're
right.
right.
And
And
that's
that's
the
the
thing.
thing.
Meeting
Meeting
people
people
where
where
they're
they're
at.
at.
See,
See,
I
I
wanted
wanted
to
to
bring
bring
people
people
where
where
I
I
was
was
at,
at,
kind
kind
of
of
ego
ego
based.
based.
You
You
know
know
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying?
And
And
it
it
didn't
didn't
feel
feel
real
real
good,
good,
but
but
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
I'm
I'm
right,
right.
and
And
I
I
was,
was,
but
but
they
they
was
was
right
right
too
too
for
for
them.
them.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
took
took
that
that
ego
ego
out
out
of
of
there,
there,
and
and
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
girl,
girl,
leave
leave
them
them
people
people
alone.
alone.
That's
You
why I
know?
used to. But see, I did that a lot. But I was only reading my DNA template. I wasn't thinking that. And, kids didn't have no filter. And my dad was like,
You
Yeah.
"Sit
know,
down, Key." And I'm like, "Why? You keep doing
yeah.
me like that. If I'm telling the truth." And he'd just be like, he'd be like, "Key, you can't, just
Child.
because
Yeah.
you know the truth and you tell them the truth. Sometimes you shouldn't
Yeah.
say nothing to these people, because these people aren't going to receive it in the ways that you think that they're supposed to. And if you think that any and everybody's going to receive it in the ways that you think that they're supposed to and understand you, then you're gonna be sadly disappointed a lot in life."
Well,
Well,
most
most
often
often
too,
too,
because
because
they're
they're
gonna
gonna
rebel
rebel
against
against
you
you
or
or
what?
what?
You
You
know
know
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying?
Yeah.
Push
Pushback.
back.
Yeah, but that was when I was a
That's it.
kid. So I mean, that
Yeah.
was I didn't understand about, you know, he was teaching me about free will and stuff like that. And I was like
Hmm.
5 or 6, and I was trying to explain to him why, and that ain't what I see. I didn't see the
Yeah.
loving kindness, compassionate temple that everybody was supposed to be exerting. So, exuding. So that's what I said. And so every time I kept asking all these questions, they were getting upset because they were the
Hmm.
God templates questions. They were the template that I was supposed to have. I was like, hey, and how come ain't nobody doing this? What happened to all the gods? What happened to all the kings and queens? And so everybody's like, we ain't doing that no more.
You're
You're
like,
like,
huh?
huh?
I said, what you mean we
What?
ain't doing that no more? I thought we was
Yeah, that
composed.
sounds
We had a plan.
crazy.
I had the plan, because that's what I said. I said, well, I thought we had a plan. I thought we were supposed to be doing this, this, and this, and this. And my dad said, and he started explaining to me about free will. And I
Hmm.
said, well, I don't see that. And I kept asking, but why? But why? And then finally, he got pissed off. And you know what he said? Because he got pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said,
Like,
Like,
girl,
girl,
you
you
getting
getting
on
on
my
my
no,
nerves.
you
nerves.
know what he said?
Huh.
Because sin feels good to him, okay?
What'd you
What'd you
say?
say?
Oh.
Oh.
Well, I was
What'd you,
still, I still was a kid. I didn't know what sin was, but
yeah.
I shut my mouth
Yeah.
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 because it was the truth. Whatever it was a truth, and it embedded on my
Right.
Right.
template. But I didn't know
You
You
what
feel
real
it.
feel it.
sin was. I was a kid. I was five, between
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 and 9.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
You
know?
didn't know the freaking ramifications of what real true sin meant to you. You just knew not to lie to your
Yeah.
parent.
Right.
Right.
And
And
it's
it's
funny
funny
because
because
me
me
and
and
my
my
daughter
daughter
is
is
so,
so,
I
I
mean,
mean,
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
the
the
synchronicities
synchronicities
are
are
crazy.
crazy.
Had
Had
a
a
conversation
conversation
today,
today,
you
you
know,
know,
about
about
whether
whether
people
people
want to
want to
act
act
right,
right,
whether
whether
a
a
man
man
want to
want
do
to do
right
right
by
by
you
you
or
or
whatever.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I
I
said,
said,
you
you
know,
know,
don't
you
you do
do
you.
you.
Don't
Don't
stress
stress
yourself
yourself
out
out
about
about
another
another
human
human
being.
being.
People
People
gonna
gonna
do
do
what
what
they
they
gonna
gonna
do.
do.
If
If
God
God
gives
gives
you
you
free
free
will,
will,
who
who
are
are
you
you
to
to
take
take
it
it
away?
away?
Mm-hmm.
You see that? I'm
I'm
like,
like,
And who are you to also manipulate someone's free will?
that. See
see
what I
what I
mean?
mean?
That's what
When they're
I
saying
mean
no,
by
no
take
means
it
no.
away.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
you
you
be
be
like,
like,
no,
no,
for
for
my
my
way,
way,
the
the
right
right
way,
way,
and
and
you
you
do
do
this,
this,
you
you
do
do
right
right
by
by
me.
me,
Girl,
girl.
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
you
you
waste
waste
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
time
time
that
that
way
way
because
because
you're
you're
gonna
gonna
hit
hit
a
a
brick
brick
wall
wall
every
every
time.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
now
now
your
your
free
free
will
will
is,
is,
are you
gonna
gonna
put
put
up
up
with
with
this
this
or
or
not?
not?
Right.
That's
That's
your
your
free
free
will.
will.
Right. And what
You
You
know.
what
know,
part of, and even if you did or didn't get out of that pattern and you knew whether or not you wanted to volunteer your free will a little bit, whether
Yeah.
you think you did or didn't, that pattern is going to go on to the next people, place, or thing that you didn't try to have no good, pure energy from and resolution behind it. You're going to turn around and treat them people the same way and get treated the same way. And you're going to be like,
It's
well,
a
I don't know why
cycle.
shit's not working for me. Excuse my
It's a
language.
cycle. It's a cycle, and I'm like, but you can break it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like simply put, what do they say? Stay in your own lane or whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't worry about if somebody else is doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's above my pay grade. Because I need to really be watering my own grass. I see a couple of dead spots and some dandelions over there I need to take care of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of telling them they got weeds, let me take care of my own.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a lot less stressful.
That's why I try to stay. I ain't gonna say I try. I do stay in my own lane. While with that statement that you just said, I was just messing around with some books before I came on, and I saw a note that I had wrote, and it said that I wasn't a child who touched the stove, but I was the child who touched the unknown. Now that I didn't have that. You know where that came from? That came from Hermes. That came from thought. That came from Hermes. He gave me that. I was like,
way back to the way
I
back.
never would have said that. I mean, he said that. He said I was the. He said you were the child that touched. He said that you were the child that never touched the stove, but you were the child who touched the unknown.
I'm part of that class. Look, I was sitting next to. I feel that.
When he said that to me, when that frequency hit me with that, I knew then. I said, "Oh, that's so sweet." It wasn't
Sweet,
like
huh?
I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet."
Shoot, that would knock me over with a feather. Like, whoa.
It did, but it was
you
not.
know the truth when you hear it, you be like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah. But I
don't
was
know what
still,
chakra it
I
is,
still was
but,
receiving the energy. When you have that pure heart, I receive the energy like that, and I just be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, thank you," like a little kid, because you don't think that you're humble, but you are humble. You know what I mean? You are humble.
Yeah.
That's that part where that bliss comes in when I humble. Oh my gosh. Man, I'm a freaking noodle. I'll be balling like a little baby. Be like, oh, I just love you. But I do know and have proper discernment of spirit, and you can't just run over me.
Oh, not at all. But see, I dismiss myself from the situation because what they say, what is your toxic trait? If I get going, like really defensive, angry, whatever you want to call it, it's hard for me to reel that back in, so I don't do it. I try not to do it. You know what I mean? Because it's too much work to get back to bliss.
But I do get it. And that's another thing that I do work with a lot of my clients on. It is about reprogramming your mind. Whether it's for a better healthy life or to try to direct yourself toward wealth and success or whatever it is that one person believes to be success in their mind.
Yes. Okay.
I allow them to be them, but I do express to them like, look, certain things that you do, you can stop if you do it each day and try to practice it. You stop and think of 3 good things about the people, place, or things that you could do better about that. If you can't, you walk your butt away. Okay, don't walk away talking about I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda, and I should have said this, or I should have did this. Okay, but in the event that you have an interaction or an altercation, then yes, you definitely want to make sure that you are saying, hey, I accept the part that I've played in it. You address it. You analyze it. You forgive the. You address you forgive the parts that you've played in it, and you forgive the people, place, or things if you can. and you put
Right.
that energy back into your own spiritual storehouse so that you can be able to
Mm.
continue on and move on with yourself in life, so that when you do get low vibration and you start to feel kind of, like I'm getting low, you can tap into that spiritual storehouse, and you can bank
Mm.
off that for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, to do your own
Mm.
self care. It has nothing to do with no one else. Now,
Mm.
whether or not they accept your forgiveness or not, ain't got nothing to do with you. And whether or
Right.
not anyone else, whatever it is, any one particular person thinks about you, it ain't none of your damn business. Because if you
But
sit
that
there
part
and you keep on
about
thinking about it and you keep on pondering on it, yeah, I just saw Pinky in the Brain. Child.
not that's not what you know about that.
I had to put the camera back on that so I could like,
That's
oh
my
dang, Carly, look,
jam.
Carly coming over here.
That's my jam.
Pinky
But no,
in the brain.
accepting your responsibility in the BS,
Yeah.
that wasn't easy for me. But when I started doing that, it got easier and easier. You know what I mean? But shoot, that be hurting. I be putting my own self in timeout. Look at this puppy.
She's just staring like,
Oh my goodness.
she is so funny. She's just
Like I
like,
got something to say.
yeah, like what? She's like, you done yet?
Yeah, I promise you. In my world, if that dog spoke, I don't even think I would flinch. I'd be like, right.
Right.
You
She
know what I
does.
mean?
She does in a sense. She does little stuff. She will go shake her head. Yes. She
Uh-huh.
does shake her head no and answer us. Um, but
That's funny.
she there's certain things like of course, vibrational wise, when we're sad, of course she'll come and console us, but then
Oh,
she
yeah.
knows basically when I'm pissed, she's like, hey, let me go in the other room. She
Mm.
knows. She's very receptive when I grab, like I said, when I grab that Florida water, just even washing my hands with it, she gets all kind of weirded out.
Hold on just a second,
Okay.
sis. What do you need, baby? Okay, didn't I just take care of you a nanosecond ago? All right. Okay. Yeah, you know. Look, when the babies talk to you like this, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm I'm very much grateful though for your time. I really
And
am. This
I
is
appreciate you reaching out to me. I was honored. I was like, what? You want to talk to me?
yeah. I
She's like, yeah.
Yeah, and you was my first one too, so that makes it even more even special. Cause I was like, I'm gonna call and ask Miss Renee if she wants to participate,
And
because I
yeah,
always
this is
ask
out
other
my
people that are
comfort
on the
zone.
outskirts to do stuff, and then I'll be like, I'm gonna start asking my own community. But I know
Yeah.
that there are certain things and certain people in the community. Sometimes you just don't feel very much welcomed because
Yeah.
this vibration. You know what I mean?
Girl.
And they're very nervous because they don't know what we know, and they want to know what we know, but they're also like very like standoffish. They really don't want to talk about
Yeah.
it, but they do want to know more about it from you, what
And
you
then,
do know. you know
some stuff is still coveted. You know, like you said, don't feel real comfortable sharing some stuff because some stuff is hard.
Mhm.
It's our stuff. And people misuse our stuff like they misuse us.
Yes, I try not to say anything
So,
because um if you try to teach or tell anyone certain things, uh,
mm,
it I don't want any blood on my hands, and you're
you
not.
know what I'm
And,
saying?
it,
Oh,
and
girl.
I've made
Mm,
my energy to that. If you have learned or taught something or learned something from me, and you misutilize it, it can go very badly for you.
and my thing, I'm not finna get whooped because I done gave you the secrets and now you have. Okay, says my daughter's having a seizure here, so let me deal with this.
Yes, yes, yes. Do take care, my sister. Thank you, Goddess.
Yes. All right, thank
Take
you,
care, and
and
I'll
let's
keep in
touch
touch
base
with you,
tomorrow.
and make sure that you keep in touch with me. Love you.
All right, love you too.
Ashe.
Okay. Ashe. Ashe.
All right, thank you. I do much a very hope everything gets straightened for her. I do very much appreciate everyone joining in today. It was this is one of the first of the shows for the Her Story, or second. We will be building more clientele with this of the Her Story in history in 2023. I do very much appreciate every single one of you who do come in and participate with me. Please come into the chat, and you can leave any particular information in there. Let us know if there's anything that we might be able to do as far as building more onto the channel. If you think, give us any suggestions of what you might think, or if you'd like to even be a guest on the show, you can always hit me up at NSO Wellness Center. Gmail.com, and that is NSO Wellness Center at gmail.com. And you can give me a call at 720-669-4949. Again, thank you, and you go ahead and like, share, subscribe. Go ahead and hit that like button, and you can even subscribe to us, and go ahead and share this to anyone in particular that you think that this might be able to assist or help. Okay? Bless you, and thank you. Namaste.